Hey everybody, and welcome to a slightly different corner of my room. It's Micah and I'm back with another video, and today it's going to be a little bit different. It's something that I haven't actually done ever before, which is a story time. I feel like I'm ripping off Thomas Sanders by saying it like that, but I can almost hear you saying, "But Micah, you say your life is really boring, all you do is work, how can you have any interesting story times to share with us?" Well, I used to have a life before my full-time job. Surprise! Before I worked full-time in the job that I currently have, I had a part-time job while I was studying. And this part-time job was interesting. I don't feel like it should have been interesting because I was literally working at a sushi restaurant. Like, what we sold was sushi and then like a variety of like Asian food. So that's basically all I did. I was, you know, working front of house as a waiter in the sushi restaurant, which doesn't sound like it should be privy to anything exciting happening ever, you know, aside from some quirky customers. But I managed to find weird people. I seem to attract weird people, and I don't know what it is about me, but I've always seemed to draw weirdness towards me. It almost seems to be some kind of weird gift that I have of somehow people know that I'm weird so that they come towards me. So I had a couple of really bizarre experiences at this job. One of which seems so ridiculously unbelievable that I don't even think people on the internet will believe it. Except for the fact that it actually did happen, and you know, I've told the story to my flatmates at the time when I literally came home from work and was like, oh my god, I can't believe what just happened at work today. And that involves a limo, but that's not the story I'm sharing today. I will share that one in a later video, and you can decide whether or not I'm telling the truth, even though I'm 100% am. But this one is basically, I got myself a stalker. Yep, that was a thing that happened. I was working in this restaurant about 3 years ago. I worked there for about a year and a half. And I basically worked my way up from like knowing nothing to training people by the time I left. So I was considered a senior staff member quite early on. So I basically, the restaurant that I worked in purchased a kiosk in a mall. And that was basically, instead of, you know, the whole restaurant and, you know, several wait staff kind of working in one place, there was a kiosk where you just worked by yourself. So I was working between these two establishments on a regular basis, and whilst working in the actual physical restaurant, I met a guy. I was working there in 2013, so this is back when I was very feminine presenting. I had a nice short bob cut, I was really into like eyeliner, you know, I was a hell of a lot skinnier than I am now. So I was decent looking, but I was also at this stage I was in a committed relationship with Regan, so completely off the market. But I'm not a rude person. I am a very, very nice person, even when it's excessively busy. You know, when I was working at this restaurant, never once did I take that out on anybody else, because I was there to provide a service to them. I was there to sell them sushi, and I wasn't going to be a dick. So I had a habit of being very nice and chatty to people, and just, you know, if they wanted to chat to me, then I would chat back. I wouldn't hold up anybody else, but I would always, you know, make time to have a conversation, because I'm not going to just ignore them and be rude. So one day when it was really quiet, I served this guy. His name was Sam. Sam came in a low kind of point in the day, so it was quiet. I think it was during a mid-semester break or something, which meant that the students in my city, basically where I live in a student city, and when the students go away it gets quite quiet. So the students were away, it was a quiet night, it was probably, you know, around dinner time, you know, 5-6 o'clock, and he came in, he started chatting. So I started chatting back, and you know, he was one of like a couple of people in the restaurant at the time, so I was kind of preparing to shut down the restaurant for the day. You know, it was quiet, you know, I was kind of mopping floors and wiping down tables and, you know, just generally cleaning up as you do. And he was chatting away, and I was like, well, I'm not going to be a dickhead, so I'm going to chat back. So we just kind of got into a conversation. We started chatting back and forth, and that was fine. I didn't think anything of it. And you know, he left, he paid, it was great. And then he came back another time when I was on shift, and he gave me his cell phone number. And I was like, well, I'm in a relationship, so I'm not really interested, thanks. But, you know, I took his number, I put it in my pocket, and I was like, thanks, you know, he's like, text me, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, alright. But then he started coming back again and again and again, and regardless of whether or not I was working in the actual restaurant or if I was working in the kiosk, he kept coming back. And it got to the point where it was like driving my boss crazy. So at the kiosk there's just me working there. So I'm in a busy mall, it's just me surrounded by sushi and like a kind of like a box. So I'm stood there and he's standing there just talking and talking and talking. And my old boss had this great thing of walking past to make sure that I was working. And every time they walked past, they saw this guy talking to me. And basically that evening I got pulled up for, you know, you need to tell your boyfriend to not bother you during work hours, you're there to work, you're not there to talk, blah blah blah. And I was just like, ugh. And I should have said something then. I should have said, hey, this guy's not my boyfriend, he just won't leave me alone, he keeps finding me and talking to me and I don't know what to do. But I was a very quiet, non-confrontational person back then. Not that you'd be able to tell now, because I'm really loud and always trying to stand up for myself, especially. But I didn't say anything. I just went, oh yeah, I'm sorry, blah blah blah. And it's like, what the hell? So this guy kept coming back, and then I went away on a break, and I was on holiday for about a week, maybe 2 weeks, kind of around Christmas. So I went with my family, I went on holiday, and I came back and I was chatting to one of my co-workers who was literally like, do you know this guy Sam? And I was like, oh, not really. He kind of just keeps showing up. Why? And he was like, well, he was here the other day for like 4 hours waiting for you to come on shift, just like buying sushi over and over again until you turned up. He just stayed there for most of the day. I kept telling him that you were away, but he just kept sitting there like thinking that I was lying or something, and I was like, holy crap, what do I do now? So I still had this guy's phone number, so I literally just like texted him and was like, what the hell are you doing? I'm not interested, I have a boyfriend. And he was like, yeah, sure you do. And I was like, no, I literally do. His name is Regan. We've been dating, I think at this point we've been dating for like 6-8 months or something. And I was like, dude, seriously, this is creepy. Like, can you stop? And he's like, oh, fine, whatever, you know, blah blah blah. And I was like, okay, great, he's gone, I don't have to worry about him anymore. You know, that's the end of the story. And then a couple of weeks later, he was back. He came back. This time, however, he came back with somebody else. He came back with a girl, and he made a point of sitting directly opposite the cashier's till. So this was in the restaurant. So basically in this restaurant there was a till, there's like a couple of tables, and there's the rest of the tables. He sat the one directly opposite my till and sat there with this girl and tried to be like, oh, like, lovey-dovey, and like, ha, look what you missing out on. And I was literally planked him the entire time. I recognised him instantly, but I literally pretended like I didn't know him. And he looked so put out by the end of it that he never came back. And it was like, I'm finally free. So basically that's kind of, it's not really a stalker, I guess, but it was enough of a stalker that it was like, am I actually gonna have to do something? Because he literally managed to find out my schedule, because that, or he literally walked between the restaurant and the kiosk to find out when I was, like, where I was working. Like he was just around all the time and found out where I was working every day. It was really weird and really bizarre. And I don't know what I did. I think I was just nice. Thankfully, nothing like that has kind of happened again. So I must have, in some way, perfected being nice, but also, like, don't stalk me at the same time. I don't quite know what I did to change it, but thankfully, I've never kind of been followed around since. So that is I kind of got a stalker story. I hope you enjoyed it. Thankfully, you know, it was like 4 years ago now, so it's not like a raw experience anymore, because it was really kind of starting to freak me out. If you liked that video, please make sure to like and subscribe, and let me know down in the comments below. And you can check out my other videos by clicking right there. And you can also click subscribe by clicking that bubble right there. But have a wonderful day, everybody. I love you all, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!